All right. Well, welcome everybody to another live broadcast from the Russell Ferber Foundation. Here we are again. So welcome to my parents as well. You can say hello.
Hi.
Hello.
We've been working pretty hard for the last few weeks on getting our virtual fundraiser together. We should have our silent auction items up and available to be viewed over the next week. And just today we put up the ticket link on our website. So if you haven't already been to the russellferberfoundation.org website, information for this year's fundraiser is on there, and you can purchase tickets for our virtual online event, which is happening on September 16th. We're going to be live streaming from the Zinc Bar, which is pretty exciting. But as we've been doing for the last couple of weeks, I think that we've been highlighting all the people that help us put this thing together every year, and the people that help figure out where the money goes and how we help everybody. And it's just really, it's usually the three of us on stage and then a handful of my comedian friends. So I feel like it's really great to be able to highlight all the people that really are behind the scenes of what we do. So tonight we're going to be talking with Denise Frazier from the Village Community School, where we hold our event every year and where Russell and I both went to school for the better part of our lives, and Brad Whitmore, who's in the development office at the Culinary Institute of America, who helps make sure that our scholars get all the help that they need when they get onto campus. And he is also a big fan of what we do. He and his partner and all the students all come down from CIA together to come to our event every year. So it's great to have you guys on. Welcome, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Good evening.
Excited to be here.
It's always so heartwarming to us that we don't have to remember by ourselves, that we have so much help in doing this, and especially at our ages, there's, even if stuff didn't end up on my permanent record, somebody remembers.
One small plug, Jordan, for the comedy event. You said the tickets are for the event. It is, which of course includes the live stream comedy show.
Yes, that will be the comedy show will be on the 16th. Tonight, if there are any laughs, it'll probably be at my expense. So
Well, next week this time we're hoping to get the auction up online, which would be really nice.
Yes.
But also we the Russell Ferber Foundation has a gift every year to VCS for the Russell Ferber Memorial Fund. Do you want to say a little bit about what that fund does, Denise?
Well, it's wonderful fun, and it comes from a family that it feels as if I've known forever. I call them boys. I certainly knew the boys for a lot of years. I taught both of them during the course of their time at VCS. And the fund helps children who need extra help in getting over the hump of learning to do whatever they need to do in school, whether it's testing to find out what specifically is blocking them from moving forward, or tutoring, counseling of some kind. So it's really been wonderful, because not everyone can afford tuition and not everyone knows how to go about getting the extra help for their children. And this fund has allowed the school to be very generous in helping children and families move forward. And, it's just been great. Every year we sort of get to anoint a child and use that money and follow their progress. So
I know, and you share that with us every year.
Right. Well, we don't say the name of the child, but the progress that child is making. And it always has a trajectory up, up, up. And it's always a success story that's exciting to watch and certainly to share. So it's really been great.
Because you watch it and are so careful about it, that it goes up, up, up. I mean,
well,
you designate how to spend that money. I mean, it's a credit to VCS that it does all such positive things.
We get a great reward when we hear the story.
I mean, because for those of you who don't know, Russell started VCS in the 4s program when they still had a 4s and 5s program. and goes until the 8th grade. And in the middle of the 8th grade, we took Russell out of VCS and sent him to Eagle Hill, which was a school for kids with learning differences up in Greenwich, Connecticut, where he lived. You know, he was on campus. He dormed there for a year and a half before he came back to New York City. But where he could be, I always said, an apple among apples instead of an apple among oranges. And it really was a wonderful thing for him, because Russell was far from stupid, but a lot of people would designate him that way simply because of his learning differences. So, and he spent a lot of time in the Learning Center at CIA also. I mean, that was really his home away from home.
You know, I'll also just say, you know, VCS, Village Community School, really does foster that family feeling at the school. You know, the fact that we both spent so much time there, I think it's one of the only schools that I know of where it's common practice to call the teachers by their first names. There's really a familiarity there, and you know, I'm still really good friends with a lot of the kids that I went to school with there. Even though my class was really small, it was only 16 of us. We stay in touch. You know, my friend Lauren Thomas, who I've known since I'm 4 at VCS, is usually the loudest laugher at our fundraiser, as well as the loudest raffle ticket seller.
In any room she ever laughs in fact.
Yes.
Right. I taught Lauren also.
And, you know, Harold Garcia, who's always at our event and is also, I mean, so many of our close friends, my close friends are people that I've known since VCS. And I think VCS really goes out of their way to foster that kind of feeling, that kind of bond between not just the kids, but, you know, their experience there and with all of the educators, you know, knowing everybody in that building. You know, it's heartwarming for us to come back there every year to do our event there.
You know, you probably don't remember this, but right after when Russell died, and we put a mention of it in the New York Times, we said to make donations in his memory to VCS. That was the first thing that came to our mind. We had no foundation at the time. We
Took a while.
and we were so shattered that, you know, it was anyway. VCS.
Russell was also friends with my son Mackenzie.
Exactly.
They became friends unbeknownst to me. I don't know how they found each other, but they did.
But you know what?
They-
They had a lot of similarities,
They,
Russell and Mac.
they were
That's
each
right.
an apple in an orange grove. Maybe.
Yes,
But they had that
yes.
charm. Mac has that amazing charm that Russell.
I was
had.
thinking of walnut.
Okay.
Yeah, both a couple of nuts, I guess, right?
Yeah.
True.
You know, and we always talk, you know,
Hard shell, but
Russell always tried to find ways to learn the hard lessons the easy way. It seemed like, you know.
Russell was the kind of student you didn't know whether to take him and shake him or take him and hug him, because you knew the intelligence was there. We were trying to figure it out, you know, how to get him more grounded, because he was much more interested in talking to you, smoozing you up, and finding a way around the assignment rather than buckling down. And one of the reasons was because it was difficult for him to learn in a traditional sort of way. And also he just enjoyed people.
Yeah.
So he'd much rather spend the time talking to you and holding court rather than doing the lessons.
in adult life, that becomes a valuable skill,
Yes,
not a handicap.
right.
Charming people.
Well, that's why I think it's so, you know, kind of interesting that he was so, you know, somewhat all over the place, but very focused on, you know, being around people and talking to people, and then being in the kitchen, which really requires sort of a very laser focus, especially in pastry. That
A
he
real
thrived.
discipline.
Yeah, a real discipline. The fact that he thrived at the Culinary Institute of America in particular, where it's, you know, they're tough. You know, his first day there, he had to drive back down to get the right shoes for the following day. They wouldn't let him into the kitchen with sneakers, and he didn't want to be on his first day, you know, kicked out of class.
We actually get a lot of stories of parents that either their child is going down the wrong path, or they just need a little more help or a little more sort of specialized focus and care, that have come to us and said, you know, the CIA has saved my child's life. They were, maybe drug abusers, or they were, going down a much different path, and the CIA sort of set them on the straight and narrow. And the best thing about the classes in the kitchen is that, you're in the classes for a long time, for like sometimes 6 hours straight. You're only in there with 16 people. You have your faculty member that really spends time with each student. And we've just heard some remarkable stories of how, students have succeeded just from their teachings at the CIA.
Well, I love the stories of the students, of our scholars last week, who talked about the CIA, and some of them thought it was militaristic.
I heard that, yeah.
But they still, despite that, it was a nurturing military.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
Felt nurtured.
Yeah, we are like the
militaristic, but in a good
school.
Now, in addition, just for everybody else out there, that in addition to the scholarship that we have at CCAP to the CIA, we have an almost endowed scholarship
Endowed. Mhm.
At the CIA. And I keep saying I'm not sure
Directly.
that will ever happen, because
Right,
every
yeah.
year we donate money, and every time we get close to that mark, they raise what it is to be endowed. So it's partially.
We're almost there. We're almost there. Yeah.
Yeah, keep
but with the stipend also.
And
year.
every year, part of our donation becomes a stipend for a student who needs it in order to finish up their studies. That's basically what that is for. I mean, we remember very clearly that Russell's friend and roommate was unable to come back and complete his studies because of a lack of, not what seemed to us to be a huge amount of money, but that he wasn't able to do it. And this is our way of trying to help other students who might be in that kind of a position.
Yeah, I was lucky enough when I started at CIA 9 years ago, and we have over 400 funds at the CIA scholarship funds. And
Wow.
when I got to meet you all, it just sort of changed my perception on what scholarships really do. I know they help students pay for college and relieve some of their debt when they graduate, but what you all created is really a family. I mean, and I really, the scholars that come down and get to meet you, and then you bring them on stage, and then they do graduate, but they stay in touch, and you stay in touch, and you want to.
We try, yes.
We nudge
And I
them.
just think that is so important and so admirable that you guys take the time and do that and spend the time and want to see what they're up to and doing. So I'm just blessed to be part of this and see all the great work that you're doing and just be that connection between the students and the CIA and you all. So I'm happy to be that, foster that relationship.
Well, it's
Yeah,
really like a
I'm-
combination of everything. The fact that Russell was such a mover and a shaker and a connector of people. The fact that we stay in touch with our kids is sort of feeds into that, and the fact that VCS itself, I think, really fostered that. The fact that I'm not my story about being friends with the kids that I went to elementary school with is not unique amongst VCSers. We are a tight-knit bunch. We're it's a very small school considering the fact that it's in New York City. But we keep these bonds together through our lifetime, and I think that there's that combination of having a level of professionalism that VCS prepares you for the rest of your studies, as well as the need for human interaction and real connection with people. That's why it was hard for Russell to leave when it looked like he wasn't going to be able to get the kind of education he needed. So more so than the difficulty of having to leave because of academics, but having to leave his friends and having to go somewhere else where he had to make a whole new set of friends was I think the most daunting part for him.
But he was well equipped on that end. And I
It
also
sounds like
think
it.
he was the first, and perhaps I do believe the one and only child ever to leave the school and then come back and march with his class during graduation.
Well,
So-
he was also the first CIA graduate who died that was awarded his cordon posthumously. It was he wasn't the first student to die, but he was the first one who they gave a cordon to, and in part that was because of his fellow students, in particular his friend Jesse, Jessica and Vincent Calise, who had been the dean of students and then became Brad's boss for a
I'll also
while.
say this, if, Russell may be the first person that even tried to come back and walk in graduation. I don't know if that's number one. And secondly, I mean, I don't know if you guys tried to stop him, but you would not have probably been able to.
I don't think we tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure not.
VCS is a place after 9/11. I remember being told that after 9/11, all of the students all those young people who lived in New York who didn't know where to go, had nowhere to go. Anyone who went to VCS ended up in there.
That is true. Some parents also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The new
Yeah.
safe, loving haven.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
he
so
was very-
what's happening now? I know that there's a new building that just went up at VCS.
Well, it's not
Process.
completed
It's in the
yet.
process,
It's
yeah.
in the process, yes. Another gym,
Mhm.
because we always thought physical education is
Mhm.
so important.
And it's named
So-
after Eve, right?
It's the building, the wing will be named after Eve. We're increasing the size of our learning center with our learning specialists and reading teachers so that there's more space for the children.
Great.
It's all well thought out, thought up, planned
Yeah.
out space, a maker space where kids can go in and create.
Mhm.
VCS always feels as if they're preparing children for jobs that haven't even been invented yet. So why not let them go in and just have a space to explore, create?
Yeah.
And it's also a space, I think, that sort of levels the playing field, because whether it's in the arts, whether it's gym or science, math, everyone can go in there and create something, make something unique to them.
Right.
And so all that kind of learning takes space. And that's what the new building is going to be about.
Very exciting. And
Very
It
interesting.
is very exciting.
I mentioned before we started recording that I noticed on the VCS Instagram that they just started handing out all of the virtual packets for the virtual learning that the kids are going to be starting out with this year.
Yeah, we asked the teachers, what do the kids need? We started, of course, last year, and that was quite the feat because we created the program over the March break. The children had their break, but the teachers did not. They had
Right.
to create distance learning. So we asked this year, over the summer, everyone worked, professional development, to make sure that we were ready to go. And we asked the teachers to give in a list of all the supplies that kids would need at home to be successful distance learning children.
Right.
And so every teacher gave in a list, and you know how VCS is, very materials heavy. So there were lists like you wouldn't believe. So there were backpacks, there were bins. Everyone got a device, a laptop, a Chromebook,
Wow.
plus art supplies, blocks for math, paper, pencils, whatever they needed. I can't tell you the number
Paper,
of zip.
How do I get one of those? Can I audit?
Everything.
I was
Can I
going to say
audit?
the same thing. I want one of those backpacks.
Yeah.
It took up the entire auditorium, because you figured 340 kids. So every child had a backpack, chock-a-block full of stuff, a plastic bin, full Ziplocs. It was amazing. And
With hand sanitizers.
yes, and kudos to the teachers who came in and the office people who divvied up the supplies, because it was all
Well,
age appropriate. The
Right,
first
of course.
graders needed different things than the eighth graders.
Right. of course.
So it was
Be
quite
careful
the
grading.
feat.
Well, one of the special things at VCS that they won't be able to duplicate is shop. I mean, I love that they had shop from a very, very early age. Every child took shop. And
And
I
I still
remember
got all my fingers.
Sheila, who was the founder of VCS, said
But
that
you did like the glue.
that the reason that shop was so important is that it taught children how to plan. You had to plan how to get things done, or you could cut the piece the wrong way, and then it would, you wouldn't have anything that matched, and you wouldn't have anything that you could work with.
Well, Judy has, of course, had to come up with different ideas for shop. And while they're not using wood, they are using other materials.
Oh, that's
Materials
great.
that either we provided or found materials in their homes.
Oh, I was going
So
to say,
what she did last year, just off the top of her head, was amazing.
I was
The
thinking,
kinds of things that they built,
this feels like
chairs out of paper, little miniature. It was really great.
I feel like this is the perfect opportunity to, work on your whittling. Just get,
Scrim shot. As long as you get a bill for it.
yeah,
Right.
there's
Sure.
sticks everywhere.
They should have a call. They don't have to have a
We
call.
can auction off a scrimshaw session. A
Yeah.
scrimshaw, start up scrimshaw. If you could say it 3 times quickly, you win the prize at no cost, right? You win the auction.
So Brad, let's talk to you for a minute. I know that classes kind of just started up again at CIA.
Yeah, we welcome back. I think there was 500 students that had to complete their spring semester. That came back on August 10th.
500.
And then we pivoted all of the online models for our bachelor's program. Our master's program has always been online. But we were able to figure out when, COVID hit and everything was shut down, how to sort of front load all of our lectures in the AOS program, which is the culinary and the baking pastry programs, online, so they could still learn all of the different techniques and cuisines, and then when they came back to campus to apply all of those techniques that they learned. So that all happened on August 10th, and they just completed their spring semester on Friday. And now they have a couple days off, and we'll welcome back all of our students for the fall semester on Tuesday.
Wow. It's a real big thing because the CIA students really hail from practically every state and many countries. It's not just New Yorkers who are going up to the CIA. So it's.
Yeah, so they all had to come 2 weeks early in quarantine.
Yeah.
Either on campus,
Right.
or they had to quarantine somewhere with a relative or a friend. And luckily, the CIA, we already had very strict safety precautions and measures. With food safety, you have to be very strict with those sort of things.
Sure.
So that really helped out, sort of mitigate, COVID exposure. We lowered density on campus. Anybody that could actually work remotely, that's not sort of student facing, could continue to work from home. So we're only about 45% of our faculty and student support, staff and administration that's actually on campus, just to keep the sort of threat of any sort of infection as low as possible. And now our students,
Open yet?
no, they're not open. Probably, we wanted to get everything up and running before we started inviting people to campus.
Okay.
We get almost 300,000 people come to our campus every single year.
For good reason.
Yeah, of course. It's great food. It's the energy. You all have been there. Denise, you have to come up if you have not been. The energy there is it's tangible. You can feel it as soon as you walk in. It's just, there's so many kids that they found their home because they're passionate about culinary or baking and pastry, and they found like-minded people. So you get that all together, and the food and the smells, the energy. It's just a really exciting place to be.
You're
so we're
making me hungry.
My office is right above the exhaust fan for American Bounty, so I literally get to smell everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I would say there's calories in the air when you come on campus.
That's amazing. Well, one last question, I guess,
Exhaust fan.
up here, and that is, how disappointed are you guys that we haven't been able to have our live event this year and hug each other in person and have some laughs over Grandese pizza?
It's terrible. It's been 9 years since I've been going.
This was going to be our 15th year. The fact that we're doing it online this year, I'm glad that we're doing something, but I know that I often find that other people remind me that it is not just the highlight of our year. A lot of people look forward to that event.
Well, it gives me an opportunity to see all my babies that I taught, And of course, they get old. I do not. But it just is
Right.
great to see them. And when you see, I mean, I was at the stage where children that I taught were bringing back their children to interview.
I know, isn't that?
School. How is that possible? So
I know.
you know, I look forward to just seeing a lot of the children that have passed through our halls.
And the person we started with at CIA, Gail
Yeah,
Jones, left the CIA for what, 4 or 5 years?
she did. We got her back though. Yeah,
What?
we got her back though.
Yes, they were smart
They got
enough
her
to
back.
hire her back because she was
Nice lady.
terrific. Very special people. I mean, we've been blessed with all of the people who have come out, like Jordan said, to help us and to be supportive of us. And maybe it was just Russell's charm and has nothing to do with us, but thank you.
Well, yeah, sure. A lot of Russell's schoolmates came back with their babies, with their children. Actually, girls in particular, of course. They think back, not a couple of guys, but mostly.
I'll tell you this. I hope, I'm pretty sure Russell got a lot of his charm and his chutzpah by seeing where I failed, and just
Listen, when Russell went to West Village Nursery School, before he went to VCS, he was at West Village Nursery School, and I would get parents calling me, "Oh, I'm so-and-so's mother." "Oh, okay. Russell's girlfriend?" And maybe 4 or 5 mothers in the same week would call me to say that their child was Russell's girlfriend.
So Jordan, I just want to know, did you ever finish a homework assignment? Come on, be honest.
If it required
Yes.
handwriting, forget it.
Yeah, my handwriting was no good. I once I got into college and everything had to be typed, I was much better.
Okay.
That's hilarious.
There were the things you remember, right?
Yeah. Well, listen, that's why I always say when we do the live event, when I get to go on stage and tell jokes, I can't believe that I get invited back every year to do the very thing that got me kicked out of class when I was here.
And Russell, I think, while he couldn't always get the answers right, he was very concerned with presentation. So when he put together a project, it always looked great, like a piece of pastry, right? It always looked great, whether or not the answers were correct or the
report may
learning.
have had only 2 facts in it, but it took 4 pages in elegant type on beautiful vellum paper,
Whatever.
beautiful cover.
Presentation was always important
Yeah.
to him.
So we're wide margins.
Yes.
Wide
Yes.
margin, triple space in case you want to
Oh, yeah.
I
say
remember the
beautiful
wide
stuff.
margins in particular. Exactly right.
Wide margins.
That's so funny.
Teachers never saw these tricks, of course.
Yeah,
Oh, never,
Never.
Well,
never.
at CIA, Russell went to the Learning Center all the time and got his books on tape
Yeah.
Yeah.
because he really needed that. He needed to be able to do that.
That was a great resource.
And amazing. Yeah, it's
Great
fabulous.
Learning Commons is a fantastic. It is a fantastic resource for our students, and it's widely used. I mean, I go up there and you see, it's even from anywhere from your lectures and those sort of academics, but also your kitchen labs. You see students up there practicing their life skills on potatoes and carrots. It's just an awesome experience to see these students really trying and putting their best foot forward. And our staff there is unbelievably supportive and fantastic and great. And so we're lucky to have that center.
And we were blessed to find all these
Yeah.
supportive places for Russell and Jordon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we really are. Really were. Continue to be. Well, thank you guys for coming on and talking with us. I think that I really do think that we would not be able to pull off what we do with the consistency that we do without having so many people in our corner, so many, different organizations that support us and that we have, real feeling for. It's not, these are not just arbitrary decisions that we've made on how to spend this money and carry Russell's name forward. We really have, it all fits together in such a perfect union. I think that it feels so good, in 360 degrees to be able to do this and talk about it and all that. So thank you guys for being so instrumental in that.
Well, thank you for inviting us, and nice meeting you, Brad.
You as well, Denise. It's been an honor, you guys, honestly, for the many years that I've been going to the event and getting to meet you all. And I feel honored to be a part of it, and look forward to many more years of not only celebrating Russell's life, but seeing all the great things you do for the upcoming chefs at VCS and CCAP and CIA and everybody you help across the globe. We appreciate it. So.
Well,
Yes.
it makes us feel wonderful, I can tell you. It really, truly does. And great. I'm thrilled that you guys are here tonight. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Denise, when the
Absolutely.
restaurants are open, you have to come up with these guys and grab a meal.
Next time I'm in New York.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
Be careful what you ask for, Brad. It might be a class trip coming your way. You never
Oh.
know.
Yeah, we always have we have a lot of class trips and the Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, all kinds of young budding chefs or just food enthusiasts.
Sounds
Everybody likes
good.
to eat.
We're signing off.
Yes.
Okay.
and I am
Enjoy your
gonna.
Good night, everybody.
Good
Great to
night.
see you guys.
Bye-bye.
I can't thank them enough for coming on, and to Denise from VCS and Brad from the CIA. Thank you guys as well for always being in our corner. And I literally, can't tell you guys how much it means that other people are watching what we're doing here. Please keep checking our website, the russellferberfoundation.org. russellferberfoundation.org is where you can find all the stuff about what we do year round. You can donate year round. I just put the ticket links up for our live streaming comedy show, which is going to be on September 16th. And sometime over the weekend, I should be putting up the links for our silent auction, which will go live 1 week from tonight, next Wednesday on the 9th. As my dad said, we're going to be putting up some bonus interviews that are not going to be going out live, but that we will be putting up, including some interviews with some people from Madison Square Garden, and hopefully a couple of my comedian friends that can help lighten the mood a little bit as well. So thank you guys so much. I love you. And as always, thank you to Russell for making sure that this went better than I thought it was going to go. Huh? We did pretty good, I think. I'm pretty sure we did. Good night, everybody.